More than 9 decades of serving the nation. Central Board of Irrigation and Power.
Where we left last time. So last time we ended with this is just a kind of a typical loss level. It's just to give you some kind of a thumb rule. So when you start study in your school, there are certain thumb rules given in your textbook. This is just a norm, so that you will, when you are going to a practical place, when you try to do a calculation, so what should be there? So it's not a, hard and fast rule kind of thing. This is just a guidance as a norm. Okay. The maximum, you can say 10% if you are saying losses, that is acceptable. So you cannot make
these are not uncontrolled, like you have these equipment, these losses will there.
Yeah.
So this is the administrable, acceptable limit.
Correct. This is acceptable
So
limit.
if
If it is more, then there is a scope for reducing. Obviously, there is scope for further reducing also. Let's say we are in 10% here. There are certain utilities are single-digit losses are there in India. In Delhi itself,
7.5.
Delhi. In Davandiu is also 4-5%, I think.
Now after before torrent power or after torrent?
Before. So it was amazing. Davandiu is a very good place to. It's a very lucrative place. That's the reason they got that much of a value for that. So now let's go to our next. The loss reduction is our key theme. So what is that you are doing? So if you see, these are the very basic steps I want to talk about. So the most important is the energy audit or accounting. If you don't do energy audit or accounting, then how will you know the losses? Like if you see the history of Indian losses, 2003-4 tak, so there was a standard 25% losses, 24% losses we used to record. But all of a sudden, when the energy meters, energy accounting norms were given, the losses were increased to 47-45%.
Okay.
Globally, if you see the
this 20% segment was left unaccounted.
Yeah.
Like they thought
they never measured.
They are having a 25, but actually it was 49.
And I will tell you my experience in Odisha. So when we started in 97, before the privatization, so we did a loss calculation. So we first did what is the baseline. So we were engineers, so we divided our team into 4 different segments. So all the 4, that time discounts were not happened, but these 4 were the headquarters in Odisha. Balasore, Sambalpur, Bhubaneswar and Berhampur. Berhampur was south, Balasore was north. So I was in the Balasore team, north team. So we did it 1 month to around 5 weeks exercise we did. So we had a person from one of the metering companies, Secure Meters in those days. So they put one person and we installed meters in feeder and electronic meters in the electric.
It was similar to energy audit?
Yeah, energy audit was, you cannot do energy audit with no meters.
Yes,
so we said, okay, let's take some pilot.
Like energy audit people, first they do is they meter everything.
Okay. So what we did, we put 11 kV feeder meter. So we took 1 or 2 11 kV feeders. Then in that 11 kV feeder, whatever number of transformers, some has 10, some has 15. So we put meters in the transformer secondary as well.
Okay.
So that, and then what we did in that 1 month, so we are 7-member team. One person is technical from Secure Meter. I was there as a metering expert. Then there was one for commercial expert. So we had 7-member team, 7 different prospective people were looking at. So end of that 4-week, 5-week exercise, so we calculated the losses. It came 76%, 77%.
76.
I said, this is only T&D loss, okay?
Commercially, I am not considered.
Because the collection, we don't know how much collection. So AT&C concept was not there. I am talking about 96, 97.
Yes, sir, at that time only technical.
Only T&D loss, basically what is the distribution. So 76, 77, I said, we are doing something wrong. Then let's talk to our friends in the West. They also came the similar 77, 78.
Figure was same.
Similar kind of figure. Then let's talk to our central Bhubaneswar. Their figure were about 74-73%. South was also. So all of them are in the range of 75%. Then we double checked it. We did everything again. Said there must be something wrong because we were fresh engineers, right? I mean, how can the losses be 74%, 75%? Then you are putting in X, but actual billing. So what we did our meter reading by ourselves. So when we went to those houses where the transformer secondary is feeding.
Yes, yes.
So based on that, we did ourselves. It was not that we did not use any of the existing meter reading system. It's a 1 month exercise, but 2 or 3 feeders for 7 people we were doing full day. We didn't have any other job. So whole day we did meter reading and all those things. So it was a fun exercise for us. But I'm telling you why I wanted to tell you that energy audit is unless you create a baseline.
Yes,
How do you know that okay, if I'm improving my losses? So there has to be a baseline. So we created that baseline.
At what percentage?
That time, I mean, finally, all over Odisha, before privatization, it came around 55 or 52, something. It's almost close to whatever Delhi had.
Okay.
Similar, Delhi has 52%. Delhi, when privatization happened, Delhi has 52-53%. So it was also in that range. But these 4 areas all of them were plus 70%. Then we did the implementation. So we have those intervention exercises. So I'll just tell you in 1 minute about the implementation experience what we had. So there is a place called Rajgangpur. Rajgangpur in Odisha. It was near to Raurkela. You must have heard that. So that was an industrial bed. So we did again 100% metering of all those industries and then did the meter reading through MRIs. But in those days AMR or smart meters are not there. So MRI reading and just in 2 to 3 months, and the only focus was we streamlined the energy audit process. In 3 months the losses came down from 77% to 37%. I have seen it in my own case. I had done it myself. So it's possible. So that is one of the things which we said that how we. So then what we did, what did we do? We did so these are the feeders. This is the problem area. I mean, so if we said there is a steel industry, so it has a dedicated feeder.
Yes, sir.
So we are measuring the input at the substation end, and we are also measuring the meter reading recorded by that customer.
Yes, sir.
And there is only say 33 kV line or 11 kV line, or whatever, I don't remember. But maybe it's a 10 kilometer line. And in 10 kilometer line, the loss was coming about 50%. So there is very clear difference between the substation meter reading and the billing meter. Then we could find out that the CTPT set which was used, so they had tampered with that.
And that too, didn't use the 0.2 class which is used for metering?
Not even, I'm talking about class to next level.
Okay.
It's tampered. So CTPT ratio.
Yes, sir. We were told that you can tamper the CT and then the meter will show wrong reading.
Because these are HT meters. Whatever the CT or PT
Yes,
gives,
sir.
that is what you are going to record. So I'm telling you, these are the kind of experience we had. So people are always try to do different ways of tampering. I mean, if you see in India, the major problem is theft of electricity, and theft doesn't happen through just by hooking. It's the commercial or industrial places. So these customers, because some of them, for them, electricity is a raw material. So basically raw material. So, and I know some steel industries or ice industries, they told me, if we don't steal, we will not survive.
Yeah, the profit margin. They would competition.
Because if
They will downprice them.
yeah, if everyone is stealing, so if I don't steal, then I will not be in the market. So this everyone is doing. So these are the losses. So this contributed to the larger losses. So then, if we see that, I mean, one of the questions which you had asked last time, that how do we monitor.
Yes, sir.
So this is a continuous process. This entire loss reduction exercise, whatever we call loss reduction framework or whatever we design, it has to be continuously monitored. Without continuous monitoring, so you do it one day, and then after that, if we don't monitor what is the loss level, and based on this monitoring, the action plan will be developed. And that is where the interventions come in. If you see and all these interventions will come at a cost.
Yes, sir.
So we need to see that if I am doing any intervention, what is my rate of return? So, how quickly I am getting the investment, whatever I am making, so how quickly I
I
am
put
getting
this much amount on the metering, and in form of profit, I will give it back to the state.
In some of these places, and I go back to Odisha because I spent 4-5 years in Odisha on this loss reduction. The payback period was 18 months, some places.
18 months, more than 1 year.
No, but it's less. Anyone, if I would love to invest, if my payback period is less than 3 years.
Okay.
So it's 18 months. In some places it was actually 6-7 months. So I am not taking, those are really exceptional cases. So I am not taking that, but average it's 18 months. If you put whatever investment you do, not only meter, the entire infrastructure, you change the overall. In those days, now we are talking about underground systems. So that is one of the. So you need to identify those interventions and what is the cost, and should I do or should I not do, or if I have to
Cost benefit analysis.
and then if I have to do, I will do that later. So I will focus on the places where the losses are very high. There, let me do it immediately. I will put more people, more contractors to install meters so that I know that if I am losing 70% today, even if I block it in 1 month, it will be a big rupee for me, so which I am going down the drain. So this is what the number 5 point which we can talk about, and this the indicators are different. So this is a continuous exercise. So today, there are certain indicators. You see that if it is a 1 kilowatt load house, and average we think the number of units would be, if the load factor is 15%, so close to about 100 units or
100 units.
little more than that. So the moment we say if there is a 10 kilowatt load house and the unit is coming at 200 units, so there is something wrong. Well, if it is 10 kilowatt, either they are not using, so go and check what is the reason. There could be that there is a 10 kilowatt
Why drastically down?
but only 2 people are staying. So there is a big house but 2 people are staying. You go and check and then you get satisfied. So systems will throw you such identifiers.
So the 6th point.
So that 6 point are already done. So let's go further. So I said, how do we plan the loss reduction target? So I am taking an Indian scenario. So it's always better to do it as circle wise. In Indian electricity system, the way it is designed, circles are always a cost center.
Okay.
Below circle you have division and subdivision and section. Some places they call it differently, but more or less all over India you will see that this is the standard nomenclature. They have circle, division, subdivision and section. He should be giving targets to the section officer also. So he gives to division, executive engineer gives it to junior engineer. So that's how the targeting happens. But so section wise energy audit needs to be clubbed to division, and then from division it will be a circle. Again, if you see there are 2 rows, right?
Yes, sir.
One is section wise and another is the
Feeder wise.
feeder wise. So sometimes, but feeder wise is the ultimate. That's technically you have to do feeder wise. And feeder I am talking about 11 kV feeder.
11 kV.
11 kV feeder, you need to measure whatever. So right now, in REC had done a project that all the 11 kV feeders in India are metered now. And not only metered, they are metered with AMR, automatic meter reading system. So
Okay.
sitting in Delhi, you can read all the 11 kV meters.
And we can also find the discrepancy like
Yeah, that is, you know, the meter.
trend. We can also do a trend analysis
Yeah,
using
I mean, you have so much data,
Yes, yes.
so you can do whatever you want to do with the data. So that kind of analysis. So if you see that from the section wise and feeder energy audit, you will know the problem. So based on the problem, you do the diagnostic study.
Yes, sir.
So this section has this problem, this feeder has this problem. Then based on the diagnostic study, I prepare a master plan. Then in the master plan, you will have the how much we talked about in the previous slide, and
Yes,
what
sir.
is the investment. And investment, here you just see a box, but that's a very complex model you have to prepare for every. So if you are replacing transformers, so the transformer needs to be replaced, and then you need to replace the cables and everything. So those things comes as a part of your investment. And then the action. That's where the superintending engineer and circle office, they will approve the action plan, and then automatically that's a continuous process. It will be a
Like for first one, I targeted all the transformers, and like budget was not enough. I put the transformers like which is the most costly factor in this one, and after that the company agreed that we can invest this much, and they see the results.
yeah.
Like they drastically increase their profit, and they will again opt out for another action.
So then next,
Yes.
once you do it this section, so then other section will also do. So automatically they will see from the experiences from other sections. So people. So if you go to the next one, so this is the framework we talked about. So first target is that let's make it less than 10%. We have to get the AT&C loss as single digit figure. So that should be our target. So we need to. And then, if you see some of the states which we showed you that day, 45%, 50%,
Yes.
60%. So for them it will be much easier to reduce. I told you my experience about
Yes,
the
sir.
result.
I actually read it that getting those ATC and losses down from bigger figure to near about 20 is the easiest task, and the most stringent task is getting those 20 to single digit. It takes time.
Anyway, so whatever, I mean, so even if you go for a weight loss, weight reduction,
Yes, sir.
so first few days you will reduce the weight. When after that, when it becomes stagnant, it will not. So same thing. So it is, and then once you reach that 20 or 25, even after 25 also, it becomes. I mean, if you see the daily loss reduction trajectory, you see that from 53 to 25, they reached it in 2 to 3 years.
Yes, sir.
Then after that to 25 to 8 they took 15 years.
15 years, yes, sir.
So that's a kind of thing. And the fourth point is very important. So I always say that. So
Energy
this-
audit and
energy
output,
audit.
it should be an integral part
Yeah.
of it.
So this is, so without energy audit you cannot do loss reduction framework. Okay. And then another point which I always say that energy audit framework, it has to be done without any human intervention. Today, even this was possible 20 years back also. Even today also it's much easier because we are talking about smart meters and everything. So we can get energy audit done at a daily level. Hourly energy audit we can do today because of the kind of.
Smart metered, then hourly.
You don't need to do that, but I'm saying that it's possible. So I'm talking about in 20 years back also we could
Maybe
do that.
in future.
And human intervention has to be zero. So that's what you need to keep in mind, that human intervention has to be zero. And so once you have some kind of a benchmark, so like you know that this is a 45, but you give them a target, okay, let's start reduce it to 30 from 45. So once they reach that benchmark, then you have to get into understand, okay, what is the exact cause, why this kind of a problem is happening, and accordingly, if you go and see that, okay, meters, and I mean typical thing what we saw in the tree, what are the typical issues we
Yes,
have.
sir.
So meter might not be working, meter slow
and
or meter tampered. So there are so many other things will be coming.
metering not done.
So you will find out this problem, and then you may not have a meter immediately with you. Right? You find there a meter is a problem, meter is not working. So you report that, and then the billing happens as an average.
Yes.
But you have to put the meter, you have to replace the meter. So that is the action plan. So you have recorded meter not working, then someone needs in the background or back office from the senior higher, that report should come, and then okay, till that meter is replaced, so there is a flag should come in the system always, and it should go up to the MD level. This how many meters are not working in the system. So that is what one of the, and this, if you see that review analysis, and then some of the target setting tools, what we say. Target setting tools is nothing but analytics.
Analytics.